Welcome to Gaelic Football News on we are Cavan.com.
And as we always say, ghouls win games.
Look at that. See that?
2 hours of rehearsal, we nailed it. Absolutely brilliant. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the show. On tonight's show, we're going to be looking back over the weekend's Gaelic football in Cavan. We'll also be looking ahead to the upcoming Ulster Club Championship this weekend.
On Halloween weekend, funnily enough, for Jubilee. We'll be bringing you the nominees for the Players of the Year from the 2015 Championships and the draw for the Under 21 Championship as well.
Indeed, so we're going to start off with the All-County Football League Division 1 Kieran Service Station game between Cavan Gaels and Ballinya. This was round 9 game, and as we said on last week's show, a crucial game. Cavan Gaels came away with a massive victory here. It finished 2 goals and 11 points to Ballinya's 4 points. So a crushing victory there, 13-point win for Cavan Gaels, which we'll see.
Exactly. I was going to say we'll be bringing up the table now in a minute or two, but it was, as you said, a massive win, and by all accounts, I believe Martin Dunn was outstanding in this game as well. Had a great game from what I heard. Okay. And it's a fitting tribute to one of Cavan Gaels' stalwarts in JJ Riley, who died the week beforehand, and the game was postponed, and Cavan Gaels, a fitting tribute for the man himself by winning that game so comprehensively. Well, as we said, we'll be looking at the table in a minute, Damien, and it's mad.
You can actually see it. It should be coming up on your screens just about now there. You can see how it affected the bottom part of the table, although I think the graphic is kind of covering the bottom part of the table on your screens. It is on ours anyway, but we'll remove that graphic because there you go. You can see now that Lavi are automatically relegated with 7 points and at the bottom of the table as a result of Ballinya losing. The funny thing being that it came down to, firstly, head-to-head between Lavi and Ballinya, and it ended up a draw. So then the second choice was score difference, and you can see there that it was down to 1 single point.
Yeah.
Ballinya were on minus 24, Lavi on minus 25. So had Lavi scored 1 more point against Mullahoran, or Cavan Gaels scored 1 more point against Ballinya, it would have actually been a playoff between the two teams.
A playoff to be relegated, and then a playoff for the winning team to stay up.
To be in a relegation playoff. Yeah. So, but the final result is that Lacken now will take on their neighbours and good friends, Ballinya, in the relegation playoff to see who goes down to Division 1B, the second tier of football, and Lavi, unfortunately for them, are relegated to Division 1B.
And you'll see then as well, we took a snapshot of the results from earlier on in the season when Ballinya and Lavi played each other, and you can see it there. Lavi 16 points, Ballinya 1 goal and 13 points. That being the crucial result in round 3, I think it was, on the 26th of the 4th, when they played each other. And it's crazy because we talked about this a week ago or the week beforehand, and we actually had it down that Lavi had beaten Ballinya and Cavan Gaels. From whatever results we had seen, it looked like Lavi had beaten both Ballinya and Cavan Gaels, but the fact that they drew with Ballinya meant that it came down to a score difference, and there was only 1 point in the difference.
And if there was ever a reason for managers to turn around and say, listen, every game counts in the All-County Football League, that's it. Yeah. Back in April, that league was decided by the draw. Had one team lost that game by a point either way, it would now be straight relegated.
And then there are other games, the other games that they maybe, like Ballinya having lost to Cavan Gaels by, 13 points. Crucial that in a game like that
it didn't go to 14.
That it didn't go to 14 points, that you didn't lose by 14 points, and that every single, score in every game is so important, and it just shows.
I just have to say though, and we highlighted it throughout the season, that Division 1 campaign was absolutely brilliant. That All-County Football League Division 1 this year was such a high standard, such good competitive games the whole way through, and it showed in the table at the end, and I'm sure next year will be equally as good, and probably the Division 1B will be a hell of a tough division now as well for next year. So.
Oh, damn right. With Lavi going down there and either Ballinar or Lacken going down, it's going to be a tough league. But the only problem I have with the league, and it has been brilliant all year, is that they're still playing league football at this time of the year, and that's something that they should look at, because there was a 3
I know that they are going to try to address that problem. I spoke with county board members actually over the weekend, and it's definitely in there. If they can fit it into the calendar, it will be done.
Well, there was a 3-week gap between championship there, between Cavan going out and the championship starting, I think, and there was an ideal week in the middle of that to play the last round of league games. They had played some of the league games, remember, and they did have a chance. But
look, you see what ended up happening there. The reason it wasn't that there was a 3-week gap. There was a 3-week gap for a lot of teams, but not for the teams that were involved in preliminary rounds. So they couldn't play a full round of fixture, because there were some teams involved. But having said that, they don't have that issue next year.
Exactly.
No preliminary rounds in intermediate, no preliminary rounds in senior. So that gap that was there can now fill the All-County Football League. Hopefully, anyway, in theory.
Well, you know, we've discussed it here, and hopefully that they're all listening and they're all watching up there in Breffni Park, Kingspan, sorry.
Even Paddy Sheehan stumbled on that at the weekend. Yeah, he called it Breffni Park. Now, he corrected himself, but tut to Paddy.
Well, someone would have corrected him anyway. So
that's for sure.
He'd love the chance to.
Moving on to the Brady's Arva Volkswagen All-County Football League Division 1B promotion playoff. This saw Gowna taking on Cuchulains. It was in Crosskeys on Saturday afternoon, and Gowna came away with a 1-point victory here. 1 goal in 11 to Cuchulains, 1 goal in 10. Super tight game. You've obviously heard a good bit about this.
Yeah, I talked to it. I've got some ears on the ground there down in Cuchulains, so do. And it was Adrian Tate. He's my regular updater. Contributor to the show. In fact, the lads loved the start to last week's show, so they did a couple of the lads that hang around with Adrian and work. I think they only hang around with Adrian because he's cool, and they're not so cool. But anyways,
anyway, we diverse a little.
Getting back to football matters. Yeah, I was talking to Adrian. They were 3 points down, I think, at half time. They went 4 points up in the second half and weren't able to see out the game. By all accounts, they're very disappointed, and they would be and should be. But look, Gowna, very resilient. They're a tough team. They're never beaten, you know, and when they do get beaten or whatever, it's always very, very tight. You don't see them getting hammered, you know. So they're one team that never give up.
No, and they're pushing up into Division 1 now. That's their reward, to go to Division 1A. For Cuchulains, like, to come back, I think somebody said to me that there was a 7 or an 8 point turnaround, that they went from a position
3 points down to 4 points up.
I think they were 4 or 5 points down at one stage in the first half and got it back then to 2 or to 3 at half time. But they really battled hard. And listen, Cuchulains have some serious good young footballers. It's not as if their age profile is working badly against them. They have a few boys. Apart from Adrian Tate, I was just going to say it. But other than that, the rest of them are very young. They have a very young team, full of talent, and they'll be looking again next year and realising how close they came this year, again, within a point of, or a couple of points of promotion.
That's it. And Gowna back up to Division 1A, they will not want to be coming back down to Division 1B. You know, they seem to be just hovering around.
Yo-yoing.
Yeah, and, you know, they'll want to sort that out. And the younger lads that they've brought through, you know, fantastic footballers, and it's going to be their time to shine in a Gowna jersey, I think.
Exactly, as we see later on in the result from the minor league final, Southern Gales Gowna players have plenty to come through.
Absolutely. And also in the Brady's of Arva Volkswagen All-County Football League Division 1B, there was a relegation playoff, and that was between neighbours again, Killygarry and Den. This game was played on Sunday afternoon, I think, wasn't it? At 2 o'clock. And Killygarry came away with the win here. 1 goal and 8 points to Den's 6 points. Again, I was talking to a couple of lads that were at this, and terrible conditions to be playing football in. But Killygarry apparently never looked like losing this game. You know, Den had their threats and whatever, but Killygarry were able to see out this game.
I was talking to a man that said, yet again, and we've highlighted him a number of times this year, Andy McGovern was immense. They then played with Ben Connery and Thomas Edward Donoghue inside in the full forward line. Killygarry had the 2 markers, and Andy McGovern was playing sweeper in front of them and just nullified the threat the whole way through. And Martin Riley apparently very, very good as well. So
excellent.
Congratulations to Killygarry. They remain in Division 1B for another year, and then unfortunately for them will face into a Division 2 league campaign for 2016.
Yeah, and in the All-County Football League Division 2, there was a relegation playoff. This was between Killincare and Muncher. I was wondering why you left me to say this. I was going, there was a little bit of a gap.
It just worked out well.
But Killincare were taking on Muncher in the relegation playoff, and Damien, you were at this game. He won on a scoreline of 3 goals and 15 points to 2 goals and 8. Massively high scoring game, 24 points to 14, and a good performance by all accounts.
Yeah, good performance. The Killincare boys, in fairness to them, showed how good they can be. In fairness, and questions asked of them. They scored the first point, and then went down. Muncher went down and got a goal at the other end, and they then scored 1-6 without reply, and probably should have scored more. In fairness to them, they created huge amount of chances.
This is Killincare now.
Killincare dominated the first half completely, and then before half time, Muncher got a goal. They scored a point actually firstly, and then got a goal, and then got another point, and all of a sudden it was a 2-point game at half time, and momentum looked like it was swinging with Muncher, but the lads got into the dressing room, gathered themselves together, just realised that they had let it slip for a couple of minutes, but had played very well. Other than that, came out in the second half. In the first 10 minutes, they were absolutely excellent. The full forward line worked brilliantly for us. Peter McCabe, Damien Sexton and Darren Smith all linking well, laying off a hell of a lot of scores, and Emmett Fitzsimons as well on centre half forward, wing half forward, Paul Kerr centre half forward, and Anthony Brady. Our forward 8, in fairness, really controlled it. Liam McCabe was sitting back in at centre half back. He was a player of the week, or he was on the team of the week a few back during the championship, but again, sitting back, mopping up everything, controlling the game. Absolutely excellent performance.
Young guy, Liam.
Yeah, still on the 21, an excellent addition there. But Jason McMahon as well done a very good job. Stephen Shorten was a real threat for Muncher, and Jason had to tighten up on him in the second half, and he was absolutely excellent. So it was good to see the lads stepping up and performing to their ability, because they're well capable of producing performances like that, and just it was a relief for them, because they were too good to go down. They're definitely too good to go down. But sometimes you can go down when you're too good.
Well, that's absolutely true, and we've seen that down through the years with different teams and teams that we were a part of as well,
Exactly.
But it's all about work rate at the end of the day. So well done to Killincare, and commiserations to Muncher to see themselves playing in Division 3 of the All-County Football League for 2016.
Yep. The Riverfront Hotel All-County Football League Division 3. This is a playoff for a promotion playoff spot. It's a bit of a mess down there, unfortunately, but the first of the playoff games saw Cornafane taking on Kildallan, and Cornafane came away with the victory here. 1 goal and 16 points to 3 goals and 6.
This is a perfect case where ghouls didn't win your games.
Ghouls. No ghouls.
Ghouls were no good.
Ghouls are no good, yeah, but basically my understanding of this one is that Kildallan still have a chance of getting into that promotion playoff position if they beat Drung, because Cornafane and Kildallan both have to play Drung, and then the top 2 teams from the 3-way playoff then play off for promotion. So it's basically you're talking about 4 games before it's decided who is promoted, along with Templeport.
We'll have to get that all confirmed or whatever from the county board, because I had been talking to a couple of the lads from Kildallan, and they thought that was them gone, so they thought that was the promotion playoff. So again, maybe ears on the ground in Ballyconnell, big ears on Fergal Maguire.
Okay.
So we'll come back with that definitely.
We'll know it for next week anyway, but that what way that worked out exactly.
Well, what is the lie of the land in the All-County Football League Division 3 playoffs?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, the Lakeside Manor Hotel Minor Division 1 final replay saw Southern Gales taking on Ramor United, and Southern Gales came away with the win here. It was 15 points to 11, 3 goals and 6 to 1 goal and 8. A great win for Southern Gales there, Damien. The amalgamation of Ballinya,
go on, you can do it.
It is Mullahorn?
No,
hang on, Southern Gales.
We mentioned one of them earlier on.
Gowna.
Said Gowna and
Lacken. Yes, Gowna and Lacken. Yes.
So and basically they were did they win the minor league last year or were they beaten in the final by Rammer? I'm not 100% sure. This was a replay of last year's minor league final, last year's minor championship final. Two teams that know each other extremely well and are battle hardy with each other. But this was actually a very, very good, entertaining game of football, I have to say. I really enjoyed it. Conditions were absolutely horrible. Just very strong wind, and it was blowing with Rammer in the first half. Southern Gales got 2 points or 2 goals in the first half that made all the difference, kept them in touch. But Rammer were wasteful. They created goal chances in the first half, had a few wides, and it was really their first half performance that let them down. Second half, Southern Gales had Aaron Brady in on the square. Well, they actually had him in on the square the whole game long, but with the wind, it was a lot easier to use him. He's a big, physical, strong, like the Bradys of Gowna. He's all there, and he has a finish on him too. He can score. He was absolutely brilliant in that. So it was a really, really good, entertaining game. I think he scored 1-5. It was either 1-5, 1-4, something around that anyway, from full forward. So he was absolutely outstanding. But considering Southern Gales missing quite a few, Robbie Fitzpatrick is over in America, working over there. Who else were they missing? Oisin Pearson, friend of the show, Oisin Pearson. So they were missing quite a few good footballers.
Big names.
Yeah, Tristan Lynch, another player that comes to mind as well from Lacken. So it was an impressive win, but what I took away from the game was how much stronger Cavan Miners would have been if Aaron Brady had been available. He was out injured, and I think that was I'm not sure if he played for the championship with Southern Gales. I think he had a cruciate knee injury or some bad enough injury that left him out pretty much for a year. So he would have been some addition to Cavan Miners. But some great footballers.
Won't be underage this year coming?
No. Connor is underage, and I'm not sure if Connor's a brother or a cousin, but he's underage. He was midfield for the County Miners this year. He's underage again next year, but I don't think Aaron is. So it's a shame for Cavan Miners, but the way he played, he'll wear a Cavan jersey again. I'm sure of that. But good win.
Minor one.
Just not a minor one.
Unless we can get a good birth cert from it.
The second game in the afternoon saw it was the Farnham Arms Hotel Minor B Championship final between Éireann Gales and O'Rahilly Gales. Éireann Gales is Mullahoran and Ballymacue, and O'Rahilly Gales
Shercock and Kingscourt.
Exactly.
Boom.
And O'Rahilly Gales came away with the victory here, 1 goal and 17 points to 1 goal and 10. So a 7-point victory here for O'Rahilly Gales. Probably flattered them a wee bit. It was a lot closer than it looked. 7 points. Now, O'Rahilly Gales did pull away at the end and scored some absolutely wonderful points. Sean Burke, name we'd be familiar with because we've seen him play in I can't think of the name of the competition, but it was the game that preceded the McCrory Cup final.
Yes, we'll come back to that. I'll get it for you now.
McLaren or Mac something or other.
McLaren,
you're right, McLaren. And he played midfield for Carrick Cross. And he was excellent at it. He was absolutely brilliant yesterday again. Just himself and Peter Corrigan were midfield for O'Rahilly Gales. That's a hell of a midfield, like, in fairness. And then they had some great players. They had Robbie Brown in the corner forward, who Eddie Halligan was very convinced that it was Bobby Brown, the singer, but it wasn't. It was definitely Robbie Brown. But that it was quite entertaining. We were doing the commentary on wearecavan.com, but it was there was some great footballers. A young lad came on for Éireann Gales called Gavin Brady. Mark this date in your diary. He's only 14 years of age. He came on, he scored 3 or 4 points from open play, 3 or 4 points in the game, and he was the difference. Like, he'd done his best to drag Éireann Gales into the game. I just can't talk enough about this, but he is phenomenal. A lovely left foot, his movement is excellent, he's big, he's strong, he's kind of like a Fintan Cahill style full forward / corner forward, and he's only 14 years of age at a minor B championship. He stood out. He really stood out. Now, I had a fair idea that he was young.
Is that allowed anymore, or is that coming in
next year? No, he's 14 years of age. He's under 16.
Oh, right.
But
so
he's not under
14. Right.
He's 14 years of age, though. He has next year. He's under 16 again next year.
Yeah.
And minor, obviously, for 3 more years. But this boy is one to watch. You want remember the name, Gavin Brady. He's from Mullahoran. He's Kieran the Gunner's son, I think.
Right.
I think. And obviously then first cousin of Killian the Gunner. But this is one to watch. Wait till you see now. But some excellent displays. Shane Duffy from O'Reilly Gales as well, fine footballer. Gerard Riley, wing half forward for Aaron Gales. Stephen Halton at full back for Aaron Gales, lovely footballer, real good. I think he's Ballymacue club, absolutely brilliant. Really, really. He's not the biggest. Well, he was on a very, very big full forward called Ben Sheenan from O'Reilly Gales, but Halton was fit to muscle it up with him, get stuck in, win ball, use ball well. Very impressive footballer. Cian O'Reilly at centre back as well. This was a really quality entertainment game. We were treated to 29 scores, 2 goals, 27 points, and the conditions were horrible. I mean horrible. Absolutely terrible conditions, and yet there were so many great scores from open play.
Did you
credit
enjoy
to
this
both
game,
teams.
David?
I love this. I love this game. And I have to be honest, no, genuinely coming in.
No.
It was, I was going in saying,
I just couldn't figure out whether you enjoyed it or not.
Yeah, and look, sometimes I'm a little bit timid, and it's hard for it to come out. My
Your emotions are not.
They don't come out really often enough. But I can't credit all 4 clubs enough for the standard that they've produced with these teams. I really, really enjoyed that game. And as I say, 7 points wasn't a fair reflection. The second half was an absolutely brilliant game of football.
I was actually talking to someone who was at this game as well, and who said they lost by 6 or 7 points, but they got themselves again. They were level midway through the half,
within a point.
Yeah. And then just they made a couple of mistakes or a couple of errors, and O'Reilly Gales punished them. And that's the sign of a good team as well.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, real entertaining game. Definitely.
So
moving on.
We'll move on then, so
I can calm down.
And you wonder why we go overtime every week. You wonder.
I'm watching the clock here. We're still 10 minutes to go. We're going all right.
The Ulster Club Championships take place this weekend, and in the senior Ulster Championship, Ulster Club Championship, we will have in Kingsborough Breffni Park this Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Kingscourt taking on Kilcoo. This is going to be a massive game for Kingscourt. They've managed to get back to the pinnacle of club football in Cavan. Now can they go one better in Ulster Championship, Damien?
I think they can. I genuinely believe they're good enough. I think this Kilcoo team, having not seen them at all, not knowing much about them, other than the fact that they beat Crossmaglen last year. But the more details that I'm hearing about that game, I spoke on Northern Sound yesterday about it. Crossmaglen were struck down with food poisoning the day before. We're missing 6 or 7 of the starting team. We're leading by 6 points. Had 2 players sent off.
That's right, yeah.
And then Kilcoo came back and beat them.
That's right, yeah. And I remember actually seeing that on the television last year.
And so everybody seems to be judging Kilcoo on that result now, or maybe I'm misjudging the whole situation.
Yeah.
But that appears to be why Kilcoo are such strong favourites. But Kingscourt will relish the opportunity to take them into the Lions Den down in Kingsborough Breffni Park and show that Cavan football is on the up. It's the senior championship in Cavan is as high as any championship in Ulster, in my opinion. I know there are other people in the local media who disagree with me on that. They think Cavan senior football is it's not as good. I personally disagree. I think our senior champions are as good as any senior champions in the province, and we can push on and win this game. I really, really hope Kingscourt go out and do themselves justice.
In Ulster over the last number of years, I think one of the biggest problems is that our forwards don't turn up. Our club forwards don't turn up, and that's another thing. Like we do seem to lack in club football. We have great forwards, but we'd say the county team or when we go into Ulster, those forwards seem to just play within themselves. And if you could, it'd be great to see the likes of Darragon or Corrigan or Barry
Smith
Riley or Philip Smith.
Philip Tinley
and just going out and having a stormer in a club championship like that, in an Ulster club championship, and I think
they're well capable of doing it. And if there's one club that, like Kingscourt have the history, they've been to Ulster finals at club level. I think there were 2 in the 80s. They've nothing to fear in Ulster. And I said it last year, I thought Kingscourt would have beaten Slaughtneil in the first day.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I felt that Cavan Gales been bet so many times in Ulster that it was having a negative effect on them. Kingscourt have nothing to fear. They know that these lads' uncles and fathers and bigger brothers played on Kingscourt teams that got to Ulster finals. So they've nothing to fear by playing Kilcoo. And I think that that's going to be a huge advantage to Kingscourt. I'm saying Kingscourt's going to win this game. I genuinely believe that if they go out and play to their potential, Kingscourt will get into an Ulster semi-final. And my God, wouldn't it be brilliant for Cavan football?
Oh, it'd be absolutely brilliant. And then on the same day at 12:45 in the intermediate, again in Kingsbarn Breffni Park, we have Ballyhaise taking on the Monaghan champions, Do Hamlet. Damien, again, this one, how do you see this going? The Ulster Club Championship, when it comes to intermediate, Monaghan's intermediate team always go in as favourites to win Ulster.
Yeah,
so they do. It's because of the system that they have in Monaghan that they've only got 10 senior teams, so that means that the winner of the intermediate championship is probably the 11th best team. We've discussed this before. The 11th best team in Monaghan playing in the intermediate Ulster. So they'll obviously be going in as favourites. But in Ballyhaise, we've got, inverted commas, our 18th best senior team in the county, but I don't think that's a fair reflection.
It just depends where you put the standings. Is Championship your standings or is League your standings? If League's your standings, Ballyhaise are the 6th best team in the county. If Championship is, then they're the 18th best in the county. Personally, I think they're up closer to 6th.
I think they're top 10. Yeah, I think they're top 10.
Oh, definitely are top 10 for me, and closer to 6th than 10th, in my opinion. So the big question, there's a number of questions that's going to affect the outcome of this game. How many of the Ballyhaise boys and how much of those Ballyhaise boys did they indulge at the stag party at the weekend? Did they overindulge? They could go have a couple of nights out and cut it at that and still be okay. Did they make it worse than that? Did they really overindulge?
What was their preparation like for the 2 weeks previous to that, and after winning the intermediate championship for the first time in 47 years, and then having their celebrations, and then having the break to the stag do? What was their preparation like in that meantime?
And that's stuff that I'm not privy to. I don't know exactly how all that went, and I don't know how many of them were on the stag or how many of them were, I don't know. These are the questions that are the unknowns. The other questions are, Kevin Tierney suffered a bad shoulder injury when Peter Morris ran into him in the intermediate final. Is Kevin Tierney back? Is he training? Again, I know he didn't train for the first week or maybe 2 weeks after. So, is he available to play? There are other injury concerns. Stephen Smith, apparently, there was an injury concern over him. So, if Ballyhaise have everybody and on top form, they'll win this game.
Yeah,
they will win this game. If they're missing 3-4 players and maybe their preparation didn't go well, they'll be beaten. Yeah, and
they're the margins. It's that simple when it comes to the Ballyhaise game.
Because Do Hamlet are a very good intermediate team. They are. I seen them play 2 years ago. I think it was the day won the intermediate. They won the intermediate 2 years ago. Went up and came straight back down and straight back up again. And they went all the way to an Ulster final. I can't remember where it was I seen them, but I remember thinking at the time that they were as good as a lot of senior teams in Cavan at that stage. So, look, there's nothing, Ballyhaise can't take this one for granted. I'd say they're going in as underdogs into this one. They have the talent to win the game. Hopefully they can go out and give a performance.
So we've 2 from 2. We've got the senior one and we've got the intermediate by the sounds of things. And then we've also on the same day, next Sunday, the 1st of November, at 12:45 p.m. in Ballybuffet, our junior champions Templeport will be taking on Navolton of Donegal. How do you see this one going, David?
I've no idea. Absolutely no idea. I know nothing about Navolton. All I could say is last year's junior champions that come out of Donegal were outrageous strong. So, and the fact it's an away game, it's going to be twice as difficult. I don't know.
The only thing is, it's in Ballybuffet. Sorry, we've got a fly.
A guest. We told him to sit over on the couch. He could stay if he sat on the couch. He wouldn't.
He just partook in the pre-show drinks. Too many drinks in the pre. But anyway, look, Templeport, Ballybuffet pitch might suit them. It's a sand-based pitch. It'll be a fast pitch. At this time of the year, if there hasn't been too many games played, and it's a young team in Templeport, again, no fear.
There shouldn't be any fear in them, no, definitely not. And there's enough of them have played county under 21s, minors, that they'll go into this full of confidence, brimming with confidence. But it's just the unknown. I know absolutely nothing about Navolton, and that's going to tell. But I know the ability that's in that Templeport team. So look, they're capable of beating any team on their day. Hopefully they go out and perform to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, and we'd like to wish all the teams that are taking part in the Club Ulster Championship this weekend the best of luck from all of us here at Gaelic Football Views on wearecavan.com.
Yeah, moving on to the DT1 Under 21 Championship. The draw took place yesterday afternoon in Kingspan Breffni Park, and this is the Division 1 preliminary round games. The first one is St Fimbers taking on O'Rahilly Gaels. So that's Kill and Drung taking on Kingscourt and Shercock. And the second preliminary round game is Cavan Gaels against Nave Breed, which is going to be very good and interesting.
This should be exciting.
Yeah, Cavan Gaels obviously sharing the town with Drumalee, who are part of Nave Breed, with Butler's Bridge and Red Hills. So it'll be a very, very interesting game. Nave Breed, of course, Division 2 champions last year.
Yes.
So that leads on then into the quarterfinals. So that first game, actually, I believe the preliminary rounds, where possible, will be played this coming weekend. Again, we'll confirm that later in the week, or it'll be confirmed on the County Board's website. But the quarterfinals then sees St Joseph's taking on Castlerahan. The winners of St Fimbers and O'Rahilly Gaels are taking on Southern Gaels. Of course, Southern Gaels, Lacken and Gowna. Assan Gaels, which is Lavey, Killincare and Cuhullins, will take on Crushala. And then the winners of Cavan Gaels and Neve Breed will take on Rammer. That's the quarter-final pairings of the DT1 Division 1 Under 21 Championship for 2015.
That's set to be a cracker because, in fairness, we've spoken about the championships all year, all summer, and the people who stood out. Well, the under 21s, a lot of the under 21s and minors, so that's going to be a cracking under 21.
It is indeed. So moving on to the DT1 Division 2 Under 21 Championship, there are 5 preliminary round games here. The first of them sees Ballinya taking on Den. The second is Ballyhaise against Templeport. The third game is Blackwater Gaels against Ballymacue. Blackwater Gaels being Mahara, Mount Nugent and Muncher Connacht. Eastern Gaels are taking on Ayr Oak Celtic in Game 4. Eastern Gaels is Ballybor and Knockbride. Ayr Oak Celtic are Cootehill and Drumgoon. And then Game 5 is... In the preliminary round is Mullahorn against Killigarry, a replay.
What are those amalgamations in the last two?
Mullahorn is Carna and Lochduff and Kilcogie and Killydoon, and Killigarry is Crubany, Poles, Alacken, all the way over as far as the border with Drumalee.
The quarterfinals will see Belturbet taking on the winners of Mullahorn and Killigarry. Lara will take on Cornafane. Ballyhaise or Templeport will take on Blackwater Gaels or Ballymacue, and Ballinyar Den will play Eastern Gaels or Ayr Oak in the quarterfinals.
So that's the Under 21 Championship. Again, get out to see them. All them games are going to be played on the 3G pitch.
Yes.
Over the weekends coming up.
And last year's the one thing about the 3G pitch is that it just makes for the fastest game of football. It's just brilliant. It's just I'm watching those young lads on a good pitch, because we spoke about it last year. If they were played on dirty, mucky or dirty, crappy pitches, you wouldn't get the quality that you get on the 3G. So it is a great facility to have at this time of the year.
Without a doubt. Moving on now to the nominees for the Players of the Year, Referee and Manager of the Year as well. So we're going to start off, we're doing this a little bit weird in order, but anyway, we're going to start off with the Junior Player of the Year nominations for 2015.
And nominated for the Junior Player of the Year is Benjamin Kelly, Barry Doyle and Ben Kiernan. Benjamin Kelly and Ben Kiernan coming from the Templeport Club, and Barry Doyle coming from the Cornafane Club. So again, get your nominations in for these Player of the Year awards.
Yeah, just send your vote in. We'll be letting you know on next week's show where you can send your votes in. I know it'll be available on wearecavan.com. There's going to be a voting page put up in the next few days. So the second category we decided to go to was the Referee of the Year. So the nominations are Kieran McCarville.
Oh, sorry, I thought there was no nomination.
The nominations are Kieran McCarville from Cootehill, Noel Mooney from Cavan Gaels and Conor Durneen from Ballinya. So congratulations to the 3 referees who made the shortlist.
Yeah, and the Minor Player of the Year nominations for 2015 are Thomas Edward Donoghue, Matthew McGee and Fergal O'Rourke. Fergal O'Rourke from Matthew McGee from Rammer, and Thomas Edward Donoghue from the Den Club. So best of luck to all the nominations there.
And the nominations for Manager of the Year are Niall Lynch from Kings Court, John Brady from Ballyhaise, and Fintan Riley from Templeport. 3 winning managers. Hard to argue with that one.
Absolutely, and the 3 of them did phenomenal jobs to win their individual championships this year, so that's going to be a hard one to pick.
It definitely is. We're going to move on to the nominations for the Intermediate Player of the Year, and the nominations are Stephen Smith from Ballyhaise, Kieran Brady from Arva, and Jonathan McCabe from Arva. So congratulations to the 3 lads on their nominations there. Again, another tough one to call.
Yeah.
It's 2 Arva and 1 Ballyhaise, but phenomenal footballers there.
Yeah, and 3 great seasons by all of them. The Senior Player of the Year nominations see.
Dun, 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 dun.
That was the wrong drum roll, was it not?
Was it? Okay, my
Sorry,
apologies.
that sounds like something else on this. The Senior Player of the Year nominations are Declan McKiernan of Killashandra, I don't know what's wrong with me. Shane Gray of Kings Court, and Enda Hessen of
Coot Hill.
There we go. We got
Congratulations
it.
to all 3. I don't know.
The clubs are just only getting the first 3 letters of the clubs.
That's it. So congratulations to all 3 nominated there for the Senior Player of the Year. 3 wonderful footballers who had exceptionally good seasons, and in fairness, there were a lot of other players that could have been nominated, but I think it was a tough job to whittle it down to 3.
Absolutely. And what's great to see is that there's a lot of players being nominated in all the 3 respective championships that aren't, 4 respective championships, that aren't county players as such, but had wonderful seasons, you know, which is great to see that and that just proves that the standard of football in Cavan is improving all the time.
Proof is in the pudding.
So that brings us to the end of this week's show. Remember, if you want to get in contact with us, we'd be delighted to hear from you.
You can email us on GaelicFootballViews@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching Gaelic Football Views, or you can follow us on Twitter @GaelicFV.
You can also go to wearecavan.com and you can get all the reruns of all the shows that we've done in previous weeks. And not only that, but you'll be able to go through all the different things that We Are Cavan supply on different sports on the website.
You can check out the podcast, the McAvoy's Super Value podcast, each week with Michael Hannon and myself and Paul Fitzpatrick. But this week, Michael Hannon discusses the Players of the Year, Referee of the Year and Manager of the Year. So it's quite an interesting podcast coming up on the website during the week.
Our thanks to the backroom staff tonight of Brian Daly and the one and only Mr. Paul Cox, and we'd like to thank Brian Daly for all the work he put in to the start of the show again this week. You know, it was absolutely brilliant, and we'd also like to say best luck to all the Cavan teams that are taking the field this weekend in the Club Ulster Championship. So let's get behind them and get out to whichever game you can get to, be it the intermediate, the senior in Breffni Park. But don't forget that the junior champions are playing in Ballybuffet in Donegal, so anybody that can get to that game as well, we'd love for you to get up there as well.
The intermediate championship game will be live on wearecavan.com, and we'll be bringing you regular updates from Ballybuffet, where Paul Fitzpatrick will be in situ giving us regular audio updates. So get on to wearecavan.com for the intermediate and junior games, and then on the Listen Live page we'll be bringing you True Northern Sound, the senior championship clash between Kings Court and Kilcoo. Excellent. I nearly stumbled on
I was just something kill. So look, until next week, it's good night from me and
God bless.